Wood TV presents Veterans Voices, honoring those who serve.
Good evening, I'm Michelle DeSelms. Thanks for joining us as we honor those who have served our country. Tonight you will hear from veterans from across West Michigan who served in wars spanning 8 decades. Starting with soldiers who fought in America's longest war. The last U.S. troops pulled out of Afghanistan in August of this year, 20 years after the first went in. News 8's Jacqueline Francis talked to a few of them about what they took out of that experience.
For me, a lot of the reflection was, how did we get to this point? And B, just what an impossible situation it is.
It's been 3 years since Matthias Mapes Pearson returned from Afghanistan. The Marine Corps veteran and Rockford High School grad had boots on the ground there for most of 2017.
My main mission there, though, was to protect those Marines that were advising the Afghan Army units.
To him, the decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan seemed inevitable, but says its execution was horrifying.
You have people literally bum rushing a gate. You don't know who is who. It's chaotic, and unfortunately it led to what, happened in August.
Oh, so a lot of what I did was driving around in an armored SUV.
Brooke Walters also found the withdrawal hard to watch.
I've kind of just tuned it out, and ever since I heard what was going on at the airport.
From her home in Ada, she looks back on her deployment to Afghanistan. She arrived in 2013 as a medic with the military police, believing her troop would be among the last.
How shocked were you when 5, 6, 7 years later, nothing had changed?
I feel it was a slow burn. So at first, as I had mentioned before, when I got back, I took a job in a call center, and it just really surprised me that, so part of my job was to cancel cable, and these soldiers were canceling their cable because they were getting deployed to Afghanistan. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like seeing my friends continue to get deployed to Afghanistan, and it didn't seem like we were making progress, and then all of a sudden, it's 10 years later, and we're still there. We're still hearing these stories in the news about soldiers and civilians dying.
This is actually when we were in training.
It's a feeling Ryan Veldkamp has wrestled with for years, having joined the Navy just before the 9/11 terror attacks.
At that point, it was, hey, there's something coming. There's going to be a war or something coming after that.
The Grandville native spent the next 8 years aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln.
We started bombing Afghanistan at that time. We were the first ones in the Gulf at that time.
Now a father of 2, Veldkamp can't help but think about how the loved ones of fallen soldiers must feel, watching the Taliban take back control in a matter of days.
To those families and stuff, my heart goes out to them, because they got to think, oh, what did we do this all for? If, we withdraw right that quick, and now it's back in turmoil there.
Do you ask that question?
I ask that question, yes. It's one of those things I think about, say, we did this for 20 years, are the people better off there? Are the Afghani people better off there? And, it's hard to say whether that's the case or not, because we just left them there.
While the weight of the withdrawal weighs heavy on their hearts, these veterans are still proud of their service.
On an individual level, I feel like we definitely changed lives.
At the time when we were in control of Kabul, kids, girls were going to school, women were allowed to walk around and express themselves freely, and they got a taste of what that's like, and whether or not they're able to do anything with that, that's what the future will be. But I think in that sense it was worth it.
Reporting in Grand Rapids, Jacqueline Francis, News 8.
A World War II fighter pilot from Grand Rapids will celebrate his 100th birthday this year. News 8's Kyle Mitchell talked to him as he looked back on his years of service.
For First Lieutenant Gerald Graham,
I flew 67 missions.
His time as a fighter pilot in the U.S. Army during World War II seems like just yesterday.
I enlisted in August of '42, and I was not discharged. I was put on inactive duty.
At 99 years old, he may be hard of hearing from the years of flying loud planes like the P-51D, the Mary Lee, named after the woman who is now his wife.
Each squadron had different markings, like you see there. Ours was red and white checkered.
But Graham continues to feel grateful, knowing he made it home when so many didn't.
I've been shot at, thousands of times. I've seen You know, a lot of the bullets are tracers, and so you can see these flashes go by. My airplane was never struck one time. And I've been looking at this as a bird couldn't fly through there, but never a dent or a scratch.
He enlisted in the Army to become a pilot without knowing much of anything about planes or flying.
When I was young, an airplane was still rare. And, you know, it got built quickly once they declared war.
Graham still lives in Grand Rapids, his hometown. He was based at a British air base flying sorties that can last up to 8 hours long.
It's a little town of Falmere, about 5 miles southwest of Cambridge.
Right before D-Day, Graham and a friend were sent to London for leave. They learned about the invasion after seeing a driver holding up a newspaper.
Headlines about that high and the full length of paper. And what's all that about? So we walked over and said invasion, and here we were in London. So, my buddy there, we ran back to the hotel, got our stuff, got on the train.
He made it back to flying his plane on the next mission. His role was to escort bombers to their targets.
Our group would be assigned to certain box bombers, and we'd, you know, had one squadron above, one on each side, protecting them.
As the war was winding down, the Army made him inactive and transferred him back to the U.S. Graham still remembers where he was when the war was officially over.
Well, I was based at a base in Dalhart, Texas. And of course, a big announcement, we knew that right away, and everything stood still.
In Grand Rapids, Kyle Mitchell, News 8.
Still ahead on Veterans Voices, how Grand Valley State University is helping veterans build a life when they return home through a simple promise. Veterans are taking advantage of a program that is one of the first of its kind in the U.S. News 8's Brittany Flowers has a look at how Grand Valley State University is helping those who've served continue their education once they return home.
From a young age, Sierra Messick knew she wanted to serve her country.
I decided to join before anything else.
But as she got older, she wondered how she was going to serve herself.
It actually took me a couple years to get up the guts to even apply, because most colleges previously had told me I wouldn't even get in, even with my military experience.
Messick says she's always had a desire to further her education, but coming out of high school, the grades weren't there. As a veteran intelligence analyst in the Army, she didn't give up. She persisted.
I may not know what major I want, but I do know that I want to succeed.
Messick eventually connected with Grand Valley State University's Military and Veterans Resource Manager, Jill Hinton-Wolf. She oversees the university's Veteran Promise Initiative.
That Veteran Promise means if you've served in the U.S. military active duty for 2 years, or if you've been in the reserves or National Guard for 6 years, then we've got a place for you at Grand Valley.
That means guaranteed admission for any veteran who graduates high school and serves.
We have this great pool of diverse leaders just waiting to be asked to step up and use their military skills, combine it with a liberal arts education, and go out into the world and lead our nonprofits, our companies, our government agencies.
Hinton-Wolf gives a nod to the Secchia family, who she says was instrumental in getting this initiative off the ground. She also highlights GVSU President Dr. Philomena Mantella's unwavering support for veterans who are often penalized for taking time off of school.
That distance is a place where they really get experience and service and leadership and skills, and we see it as a negative many times rather than a positive, and I just think that we've got to right that wrong.
You see, Messick wasn't built to break.
I know what I want.
And although she's spent more of her adult life in the field than in a classroom, she's ready for her next assignment and perhaps a new role when she graduates.
I've been out of school for over 10 years, and if anybody wants a higher education, I mean, even if it's not Grand Valley, like, just do it.
Reporting in Grand Rapids, Brittany Flowers, News 8.
Still ahead on Veterans Voices, we take a walk through a memorial for all the four-legged soldiers who gave new meaning to man's best friend. One veteran has made it his mission to honor the contribution and sacrifices war dogs have made through the decades. News 8's Joe LaFergie takes us to the Michigan War Dog Memorial in South Lyon.
Every veteran's headstone tells a story of heroics, honor, and sacrifice for our country. These headstones belong to some of the dogs who have served alongside their human handlers, like Shaman, the military working dog assigned to guard Saddam Hussein after he was captured during 2003's Operation Red Dawn, and Emperor, assigned to a SEAL team. His original handler was killed during a raid in which Emperor was stabbed but survived. He was later retrained for a new mission as a service dog for a veteran dealing with PTSD.
Now here's a dog that'll take you down and kill you. It's trained, but then you just flip the switch and becomes a service dog.
The final resting place for these four-legged heroes is the Michigan War Dogs Memorial. Located in South Lyon, about 30 minutes west of Detroit, this sacred ground was created through the efforts of Phil Whiteloff. The U.S. Army veteran recounts hearing stories at the local VFW hall about the heroics and companionship the dogs provided their handlers and other soldiers stationed far away from home in often hostile settings.
These dogs are so well trained to do their job, and their main function is to save lives, and they do that. When they come back into their hutch, they can hang on to their dog. They can talk to their dog. It gives them a sense of being home with their pet.
Whiteloff wandered onto the once abandoned pet cemetery in 2010. It was a far cry from what it is today. Neglected for decades, the grave markers were buried under brush and weeds. Hidden in the overgrowth was this monument to war dogs erected after World War II. But Whiteloff had a vision of turning the forgotten pet cemetery into a lasting monument for war dogs. The U.S. Army veteran put out a call to fellow vets for help.
I was helping maybe 10 or 12 guys to get out here and help me out. Over 55 people showed up, and I said, we got something.
2 years later, Buddy became the first war dog buried at the memorial.
As of today, we have interned over 55 canine heroes.
The services are emotional, offering closure to the handlers. Upkeep of the memorial and the cost of funeral services are covered by donations. It's also open to police, fire, and other emergency services dogs. But the majority of the canines buried here served with the military.
It's our way of showing our respect for these military dogs and police dogs that protect us each and every day.
If you'd like to learn more about the Michigan War Dogs Memorial or donate to the cause, we have a link at woodtv.com. In South Lyon, Joe LaFergie, News 8.
Still ahead, I sit down with former GVSU president and veteran Thomas Haas, the recent honor he was given for his service to state and country. Former GVSU president and veteran Thomas Haas was recently inducted into the Michigan Military and Veterans Hall of Honor. I sat down with him to talk about his service to West Michigan and our country. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On this honor.
It is a surprise to me, but one that I'm so pleased to have an opportunity to be recognized for my service, but along with so many others here that deserve the same recognition.
Long history with the Coast Guard. What drew you to it in the first place?
Really through my dad's service in the Navy. He was a cook in the Pacific Theater. Never graduated from high school, but when he came home, married my mom, I came along, and he said, we need to have you get a good education. And he was able to support me with my mom in that goal of getting into college. I got an appointment to the Coast Guard Academy, and I said, yes, I'm going to serve our nation in the Coast Guard.
You ended up wanting to teach and ended up back at the academy.
I had wonderful mentors along the way, and they called me back to teach at the academy. Chemistry, again, my discipline, but also playing basketball and baseball in college. I was able to also help out with coaching, both basketball, baseball, and finally women's sports with both basketball and softball.
You must have seen a lot of changes during that time, during your time there, in not only the students who were coming in, but also how they were taught.
It was really exciting because during my time we were able to finally bring in women into the Corps Cadets, and that was really a great opportunity to expand the notion of leadership across the entire nation, because we needed the best and brightest people there at Coast Guard Academy to serve in the Coast Guard.
Your time at Grand Valley State, that was a long time, but a really special time.
I am so thrilled that I was called to service here, and then I saw this place was very special. This place where it's located in Grand Rapids in West Michigan is very special, located here in the state of Michigan, very, very special. So I was hopeful that we could use what I could to ensure the mission was fulfilled, and that we could create the opportunities for students not just to study at Grand Valley, but to stay here in West Michigan as well.
Your 3 children all went into service.
Hey, my Air Force guy, I went to the Air Force Academy. He said in the 6th grade I knew I wanted to fly. I wanted to fly jets, and so he did. My other son said that I'm going to go to the Coast Guard. I love the people that I've been involved with. We were at the Coast Guard Academy. He got to know cadets and said, I want to be one of those. And so that was great. And our daughter, she went to Boston University, went to Navy ROTC, and became a nuclear engineer in the Navy. All 3 kids, I'm proud of them. They're all veterans.
How proud are they and of this honor, and you? What does it mean to you?
I'm really thrilled to note that I'm the first Coast Guardsman to actually be named to this Hall of Fame for the state of Michigan. So I'm representing Grand Valley, I'm representing the Coast Guard, and I'm representing my family.
Well deserved. Congrats.
Thank you.
Still ahead on Vets Voices, we talked to 2 veterans who took their talents to ArtPrize this year, how they found release through their art. 2 Army veterans who live in Bretton Woods retirement facility showcased their passions by competing in ArtPrize this year. They say this outlet has helped them in more ways than one. News 8's Dana White has their story.
This piece here is a bark inclusion.
Using their talents to not only help themselves, but help others.
I realize what a gift it is for many people. Those that are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome find it a great release, and that I think is pretty wonderful as well.
I think the purpose of doing this was to try and inspire other veterans to get involved in art or some type of exercise that would take their mind off some of the problems that they have.
George Dornbos and Dewey Heat-Dirks are both Army veterans, serving more than 50 years ago. But they say they still feel the effects from the war today.
I am pleased to be a part of that story about getting release from all the stress of our lives today.
The 2 competing in ArtPrize this year for the very first time. Dornbos's piece showing a soldier kneeling at the grave of a fellow comrade.
But I was moved by the number of people that have given their lives so that we can have the freedoms that we enjoy today.
And Heat-Dirks, a wood-turning piece made out of maple.
I find it just more than fulfilling. It's a lot of fun.
These men's pieces were showcased in Veterans Memorial Park in downtown Grand Rapids, the venue putting a spotlight on veterans' struggle with homelessness, military sexual trauma, and suicide. These 2 hoping others will see their work and be motivated to create their own.
Some of them have claimed art as a great resource, and it is.
It's been a pleasure to be a part of this, and I think we all hope and pray that maybe some other veterans will be inspired by this.
Dana White, News 8.
And thank you for joining us as we honored those who protected us. Have a great night.